Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Unconventional Attorney Podcast. I'm your host, Christopher Small. I am the Unconventional Attorney, and I'm super excited to be here with you, talking to you about project management tools. Before we get there, however, I want to remind you about this cool little free thing I've got called the Unconventional Newsletter. As you might guess, it is my newsletter. It's It's an email newsletter. Once a week, it comes out on Sundays, and it is legit. Okay, it's sort of the iteration of many different email newsletters that I've put out, but this one is the best. What makes it great is every week I focus on a different topic, based on the week of the month. Week 1 of the month is going to be marketing and branding. Week 2 of the month is going to be advertising. Week 3 of the month, sales, and week 4 of the month is going to be something I call productivity/bumpers/mindset. If you don't know what bumpers is, there's a couple episodes ago when I talked about it, or you can just subscribe to the newsletter and I'll talk to you about it in there as well. And when we have a week 5, I'm going to come up with some grab baggy kind of stuff. Maybe try to have somebody write in a guest post, but it's going to be cool. Let's see. The other thing I do in there, if you have heard of my Inner Circle program, and I do a little bit of a summary of what happened inside of the Inner Circle during the week. So in the Inner Circle, I do the same thing. I do in-depth trainings every week with some Q&A based on those 4 areas that I just outlined, and I kind of give you a little bit of inside info on what happened in there as well. So if you're too scared or broke or whatever to join the Inner Circle, then you can kind of have a little bit of a taste if you join the newsletter list. To do that, it's pretty simple. Just go to theunconventionalattorney.com/newsletter, put your name and your email in there, and you'll get it every week. I do one other thing in there too. Try to give you sort of a to-do list for the week. Sometimes it's things to read, things to listen to, actions to take, things to think about, things to get clarity on. But the goal is, with those things on that list, to help you move your life and your law firm forward every single week. Once again, to get all that amazing information for free, go to the Unconventional Attorney.com/newsletter. All right. Now today, I want to talk about a specific request that I had, sort of, from a gentleman. I believe he's over in Eastern Europe somewhere. Cool dude, attorney, doing really good stuff. And he asked me if I was still using Insightly, which is a project management tool. And I told him no, I'm using Asana. And he said, can you do an episode talking about why you're doing that over the other thing? And I thought, sure. But instead, I thought I would talk about more generally the best law firm project management tool out there on the market. And as you might expect, because this is the Unconventional Attorney Podcast, my answer is likely to be unconventional. So let's just dive into it. First things first, I think that you really have to pay attention and differentiate between the best project management tool for your law firm and the best project management tool for your clients, because they won't often be the same thing. Because what you need to manage like a caseload is not the same thing as you need to manage your business. And people try to do this together, and it's epic failure most of the time, or it's confusing, or it's what's the word I'm looking for? A lot of work, a lot of extra work. It's like it defeats the purpose. These tools, these platforms are supposed to make it easy for you to do things, not hard. And when they try to do all of it in one, then they make it harder, because they have to they get redundant. They miss out because they don't have expertise in some area that they're trying to provide for, and everything just gets all jacked up. So step 1 for me is to think about, am I using this project management tool for my business? Or am I using this project management tool for my legal work? And they're different, right? Very different. So I'll tell you that I actually use Asana for my legal project management tool. It does all the things that I need to do, which is basically, but you got to remember, I run an interesting practice. I don't do any litigation. I do flat fee estate planning, and I do flat fee probate. What that means is I don't have to keep track of my time, and I don't have to keep track of accounts receivable for the most part. That makes my life super simple, and that's what I'm going for in the design of my law firm. So to take a bigger step back, you think about that as well. Okay, so I use Asana. It's a project management tool. What I like about Asana is that you have the ability to create sort of like a template project and then duplicate that project every time somebody comes in. So, we have a will template, we have a will plus trust template, we have a probate template with a will, a probate template without a will, and that's about it. That's all we need it for. But anytime somebody new signs up, we just duplicate that, call that project the client's name, and we're off to the races. I also like it because it's easy to work with. It's easy to communicate inside of the tool, inside of the platform. It's easy to see what everybody's supposed to be doing at any one time and what they're not doing by due date and things like that. And it is something, at least for me, that's relatively intuitive. So I like that. It is not, however, a standalone product. You have to sort of other things piggyback on with it. And that is going to get towards sort of to my overall point, which is I think to try to get everything into one platform and then to waste time trying to make a square peg fit into a round hole is an exercise in futility. I think that there are so many different platforms out there today that do so many different things so well, and you have the ability to connect most of them anyway with something called Zapier, Zapier. You should really look into that. That my philosophy over time has evolved to take the best platform to do the best thing and then just tie them all together, sort of with Asana in some ways, and that way you get everything working together and everything working well. Insightly, to answer Bart's question specifically, is one of those all-in-one tools. It had contact management, had case management, it had email deliverability capabilities, it had all kinds of different stuff, but it just all didn't work well enough, and it didn't work well enough together. It was kind of cumbersome. Some of the things that you would think would be normal and standard for certain activities was not, and that just made it kind of tough, so after a while I just sort of migrated away from there. So the best tools that I have are, I use, like I said, I use Asana, which is completely free, at least the version that I use, which is awesome. I use ActiveCampaign, and if you want to get some of my my workflows in there, my automations, email automations and stuff like that, you can go to theunconventionalattorney.com/ActiveCampaign. I think we'll probably get you there. Anyway, so you do that. Let me know that. You can get my, I'll send you my workflows or my automations, and just in full disclosure, I get a little bit of a cut from ActiveCampaign. But I'm a user and I love them, so that you can go straight to ActiveCampaign without me, and that'd be fine too. I use, what else do I use? I use Google Drive and Google Apps. I was having a conversation, by the way, I was having a conversation with a bankruptcy attorney yesterday, an inner circle member who we were having a one-on-one laser session, and he's like, "Man, you use Google Apps?" He was laughing at me like I was in the Stone Age or something. So maybe I am old. That hurt my feelings. Not really. So I use Google App. I use ActiveCampaign, and man, that might be it. I don't use that much stuff. So what Asana would say is something like, client estate plan draft complete, and send it out. Go to ActiveCampaign and add this tag. So you have to switch between platforms, but It's relatively simple, and it's all mapped out step by step, which makes it pretty easy. So that is what I do. Now, there's one important lesson to remember here when we're talking about all this stuff, and that is this. At the end of the day, the platform that you use or the platforms that you use is not that important, okay? Err on the side of simplicity, err on the side of cost if that's important to you, but just know that every minute you waste on trying to get just the right platform and just the right setup and just the right this and that is a moment that you could have spent with your family. It's a moment that you could have spent on marketing. It's a moment that you could have spent on improving your business in some other way. It's a moment that you could have spent just hanging out by yourself. All right, so don't waste this time just so that you can feel like you're doing something. Instead, do something. All right, that's the lesson of the day right there. But that's it. I think that's kind of it. Those are the things that I use. It's very straightforward, I think. Like I said, I just try to keep it really, really simple and really, really straightforward and really, really easy. And that's what everybody needs to consider doing, at least. Okay? So that's it. That's why I switched. I don't believe in those all-encompassing things. I think if you're going to do, for example, I know there's like Needles and there's other things out there that do a good job from a client services perspective, from a case management services perspective. So if I was doing PI or if I was doing something where I was billing by the hour or where I had a bunch of collaborators, I would consider getting that software, but I would only use it for client service. I would have email stuff outside, right? I wouldn't do it all inside because I just don't think they do a very good job of it. Okay, I think that's it for today. We did a pretty good job. We did 12 minutes. At the end of the day, before we go, I want to remind you, go sign up for the newsletter. Unconventionalattorney.com/newsletter. It's good stuff, okay? I've been thinking about this and working on this for a long time. I'm really, really upping my game on this side of my business, which means I want to help as many people as possible, which means I want to help you, which means I can only help you if you go get on the newsletter. Unconventionalattorney.com/newsletter. Don't wait. Do it now. You can thank me later. All right, that's it. I am Christopher Small. I am the Unconventional Attorney. Thank you so much for being here. I can't wait. I got some fun stuff to share with you again on Monday. And that's it. Enjoy the rest of your day, week, month, life, everything. And I'll talk to you later. See ya.